Today is still January 27th, 2023. Still going on. Horrible. Horrible. Now, in some of my videos, I go to slur my speech or stutter. When I talk about a lot of the things that happen to me, it becomes overwhelming until I do that. And I know it. And I talked to the doctor about it. And they said it's a normal response of your body when you've been traumatized too much. And it just comes out, that hurt and pain, that way. And that's what happens. You slur your speech or you stutter. It's a normal human reaction. You know how much a scam this is. When this first started, that agent, they would say that, did you know Will liked her? I thought, I don't even know him. Oh, that's Will's girlfriend. Okay. I don't know him. I've never met him. I told you he was mean to me on the phone, and then where I didn't believe he was real, and he told me where he's located, I Googled the office number and then found him there. When I caught Dave threatening Dixie and the baby's life and had a list. They yelled out, well, he's got a list. I'm working on it. Okay? All right. But all the way up to 2021, they were telling everybody that Will liked me. Ask a bunch of guys to follow me around, that he was too shy to ask me out. Okay? He's too shy to ask me out. And that he asked all these guys to follow me around, that he liked me and he thought I was pretty, and he was too shy to ask me out and to keep an eye on me. That was his scam then. And all these guys thought it was sweet that this guy's too shy to ask me out. And they said he drives around and he just doesn't have enough courage to pull him. And they thought it was sweet. And they would have surrounded me. We all know that's Will's girlfriend. I was never Will's girlfriend. I never even met him. He was mean to me on the phone, and then the other time where I Googled that number to make sure he was real, they yelled out, well, he's got a list, I'm working on it. And it was his daughter dating my husband, and the big mean joke, it was him doing it. And when it came out that it was him doing it, then they came out that he would say, that's the woman too stupid for another man, the woman that's too ugly for another man. And then all the major insults and having people show up and make fun of me. And mock me. Him and retired Judge Peter's dad and Michelle with their drug dealing friends. It's been them doing it the whole time. They were the ones in the store that day when Dave hit me in the face with a board. They're the ones that took the kill money because they were in debt for these drug dealers. They're the ones that kicked on my door the 6th day. They're the one that was photoshopping me and stalking me and then breaking in and roofing me when I was out of the room, or breaking in when I was asleep and stabbing me with something, and so I'd be sleepwalking. And then scaring me where Dave had tried to have me killed before, the 4 different attempts on my life. Once I got the house done, got everything set up, and got where we had the septic tank put in, got it all raked out, cleaned out the back area, wood area, where the canopy where the kids would play. Got all the broken glass and bottles out, and where I worked all summer long on that house. As soon as I got it done, to bring back the originals to scare me. In that, how it had been their plan to kill me the whole time. And so I'd called the FBI, and he'd grab it off the hotline out of his area. And then he could bully me, he could badger me into a false statement, and then call, made me plead for my life when I called. And then open that witness protection program, the informant program. And with the money and all the diplomatic immunity, everything, the living expenses, and then bully me into staying quiet and be, if you tell someone, unless you're crazy, no one can help. He can't do that. He can't do any of this. The only thing he did legal was open that informant program. And he actually had to have a sitting judge sign it. And the only thing that they can sign is informant program, witness protection program. And with the money in it, the diplomatic immunity for working the case, and your medical card, and your living expenses, they can't do anything else. I Googled it. That's all. It goes for your witness only in that case. They can't say if you tell someone unless you're crazy, no one can help you. Failure to protect is abuse and misconduct and badgering laws, and they can't bully you into a false statement under a threat of arrest. Uh, in that, when you try to give a report of some incident happening in a store with witnesses, they can't do that. He can't talk to me that way. And what he did was obstruction justice and tampering with evidence, badgering laws, Department of Justice 1729. I even talked to a Tuscarora sheriff, and he said, no one can ever tell you they can't believe you, that they can't help you, that they have to take your statement and follow through. He even said that it's illegal, and they can't tell anybody not to believe you, and not to help you, and da 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 da. And then another officer said they have to take your statement and follow through, or it's badgering. You lose your badge instantly and you can go to jail. And what he did is he stole the witness protection program money right away. They said he stole it on day one. He was the one up at the church telling on me at Pamers, verified by a Stark County sheriff. He was setting up this big hate crime and this big scam. And where I was getting drugged up, he owed those drug dealers. And this one guy I went out to eat with said, I know someone who knows someone who deals drugs. And he said, I asked him about what happened to you. And he said that I was to tell you didn't realize that this was just a big drug scam. That agent owed those drug dealers money. And he was had them come up and willingly hurt you until he could come up with enough money to pay him off. And then you said they stole $300,000 from your case. That's a sweet spot. Between $100,000 and $300,000 is another drug shipment. They pulled a major drug scam here and used you. And I didn't tell them they sold the login to the case. And they ran it like a reality show. I didn't tell them that. And that they made millions. They showed up in beat up vehicles and left in $80,000 trucks and Hummers and Vets. They can't even imply you're lying. Do you realize all those big cases we had 5,000 misleads. I had the bankers at Huntington Bank seeing them on tape and audio walk off together, and that lady in front of two bankers, she was getting paid to stalk me. And the guy that had threatened to knife me by the ATM, I had walked off with her. And, and that agent screaming at me when I'm trying to report it, you liar, you confess you're a liar, I'll put you in jail. Da 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 da. And I'm like, why? He said, you either say it or I'll put you in jail. I was like, fine, whatever. And I had already been drugged up. He knew it because it was his drug friends and that I wouldn't process fast enough. The normal me would have hung up on him, called and reported him. But the drugged up me was told, and then, made me plead for my life, and then, I'll list you an informant. He's going to list me an informant anyways. He wanted that money. He just wanted to bully me, demean me, and then if he tells someone else you're crazy, no one can help me. He's still bullying me. He can't do that. He can't put a gag order on me. He's not a sitting judge, and he can't list me crazy. He's not a psychiatrist, and he can't bully me into saying I'm lying when I wasn't. And even the Camp Police know he did it. November 24, 22, Mercy Medical to the nurse where Eric had made fun of him for falling for their tapes before for being photoshopped and drugged. November 18, 22, 2 to 6 p.m. at Walmart 62. All the tapes before were me and not her mocking all these people for falling for it. Well, November 24th, 22 at Mercy Medical when I had food poisoning in the emergency room, there's a lady officer walking around. And the nurse said, we all heard that Eric make fun of us for falling for this. No one will ever say a word to her. And they said, well, the agent that bullied her into saying she was lying when she wasn't. And then we're talking about the case in there and how not funny this is. Okay. They also, November 6, 22, Trinity Gospel Temple investigators are in there talking in front of people about the agent that called me back was the one that told on me at that church the night before I called him back. It was verified by an officer, actually a Stark County sheriff. Okay. None of this is funny. It's just been a big scam. Just everything's been a scam. They had a scam about a guy named Harry liking me, and I don't know a Harry. They told people there was a king from another country that he wanted me 135 pounds and blonde and da da da. Nobody wanted me. It was a scam. Everything was a scam upon a scam upon a scam. But what is not funny And this is not funny. I was raped and tortured during protective custody. He left me up there to die. They were breaking in, drugging the hell out of me till I lost, what was it? Close to 50 to 70 pounds within a few months. That's how not funny this is. When the case started, I weighed 212 to 217. Okay. I weighed 150 pounds the time I got away from Dave. How not funny is this? I couldn't even keep saliva down in protective custody. Almost got shot in the head driving. It's documented. There's 6 stalkers inside Walmart. Documented. There's a shooting night before Christmas 18. Documented. I had to hide not to get killed. Dave caught with the shooters in police surveillance. They could pull it and they got him. Daddy had people up and they went in the old lady's apartment. Good thing she was in the hospital. By the grace of God, they didn't break in the right house. Bragged to my daughter-in-law, Dixie, had him up there. And then the male nurse's house tried to grab me when I ran from Dave. They knew it happened. Nothing ever happened to Dave. He beat me with internal injuries. I have a damaged rib cage. I have damaged intestines from not answering my phone. I got the hell beat out of me. He admits it on my phone. Did he go to jail? No. Did he get a ticket? No. Is it illegal? Yes. Did I go in and press charges? Yes. Did they do anything to him? No. Why? Because Michelle is a retired judge's granddaughter and an FBI agent's daughter. No. Yeah. And so they think they can just do whatever they want. They can't. And then I was raped and tortured trying to help a lady that said that her husband got killed on that night. They showed it to teenagers and little girls. They sold the login before Christmas of 18. Even everybody knows it's just a big drug scam. They've been talking about it. The only thing going on is that agent stealing from the case from day one. Ever since November of 22, they've been talking about it, how not funny any of this is. That it was him doing it in a scam to pay off his drug debts and for drug dealers. And he's went as low as showing pornography to children. I was at work. I do home health care, and even in front of my one client that had anger issues, it's sick. They raped her. Will made it up to me today, and he's like, "Karen, this is crazy." And I'm like, "Who's crazy?" And I'm trying not to don't think, breathe, because I was tortured and butt raped. Okay, so I'm like, breathe, because I got this client I'm supposed to be taking care of, and he's hearing all this stuff, and people are saying stuff to in stores in front of, even children are saying they've seen it. He's like, these people, they admit to drugging you and telling you to say stuff before, and they admit to raping you in front of people. Well, I went out to eat with this one guy, and he's like, that drug dealer, he's like, he said, you didn't realize it was just that agent using those drug dealers. He owed them money and they ran a big scam. They're willing to hurt you in front of people to make sure they got their money out of him. And once they got their money in enough for a drug shipment, they left. Now you know who's left? Michelle and her family. They embezzled over $300,000 from the witness protection program. See that agent open the case? And that's where the different police departments know about it. The protected custody case. He's stole over $300,000 from my case alone. And he paid it off. And then he sold the login. He probably made 12 to 25 million. I hope the IRS gets him. I want him to go to jail. And, that guy was saying some of the main drug dealers are mad. And they made some idle comments. And I would never approve of anybody getting hurt or injured or anything. I would want them to sit in jail for the rest of life for what they did to me. They're dangerous to society and they were the sexual predators. See, I stutter. Sexual predators, they are sexual predators against women and children. They will exploit them on the internet and in front of people to make money. He had me raped and tortured. His daughter, Michelle, that was dating my husband, goes to Faith Family Church, a young blonde girl. She bragged everybody that she was watching me on the toilet, in the bathroom. She told everybody she had me raped and tortured, and she dated Dave, and her dad was FBI working the case. I asked my daughter-in-law, Dixie, did you know about Michelle? He said, yes, I knew about Michelle. I said, the young blonde girl? I said, yeah. And she said she could have anybody raped. And they are sexual predators. They will do anything to make money. That's one thing with drug dealers. They will do anything to get the next fix. They don't care who they hurt. And they have, even across my clients on Turquoise Street, there's teenagers across the street. The camp police have been talking to them and their mom to stay, or tell everybody to stay out of this. They already knew their stalking tapes before when they kicked in my door were them and not me. Well, they also know they stole from the case. And those kids were outside, said, we all know they raped her. And it was wrong. And them showing those tapes to little girls, it is child molesting. It is. And those little girls, every child that's seen it needs to get counseling of how wrong it is. Woodlawn Church has it. Faith Family Church has it. Trinity Gospel, St. Mary's, they sold it. It went viral there for a little while. And all these little kids have come up in different towns and saying that they see me being raped, including who was in the room. This is how not funny that agent from the FBI Starr County Courthouse Task Force is. He's not funny. He's very dangerous. And like I said, I just want them to go to jail. And I'll tell you what, it's not funny. None of this is. That's where people have said, we all know none of this is funny anymore. None of it. Last week, there were some large men that showed up and were walking around me. And now they weren't there today, thank God. But other kids, teenagers in town, we all seen those large men and nobody knows who they are. And none of this is funny. No, it's not. It's a big drug scam from my ex-husband's girlfriend's family. They run around telling everybody I have charges. I've never been questioned on wrongdoing. I've never been prosecuted. I've never been found guilty. I don't think their shower scene in the other room of their stalking tapes or their date rape drugging me and telling me to say something stupid is funny. I've never been questioned on wrongdoing. I've never been prosecuted. I've never been found guilty. Nor do I approve of violence of hurting people either. Nor would I ever have anything like that. I do want them to go to jail for what they did to me. Absolutely, and save society from them. They're horrible, cruel monsters. And sick, demented ones. That when people realize how sick they are, and then they run around, and people's like, well, we can hear her in the car. Well, we don't believe her. Well, how can you hear me in my car? Huh? Because it was FBI informant, and it's supposed to be for police or agents to hear me, and these idiots sold the login. Huh? How do you know about the case? Because that agent opened the case, and then he sold it to make money. It's like, you're really not that stupid, right? Duh. Then you hear the officers talk about Karen around the house or Karen's will. And he can't tell anybody not to help me. You know why? Because failure to protect is abuse and misconduct. He can't even imply how he bullied me on the phone. He can't even imply that he ever bullied me into a false statement, because you can't even ask somebody if they're lying. You have to take their statement if you believe it or not. Department of Justice, 1729, you instantly go to jail. See what I mean? You can't do any of this. People forget we live in the United States of America. They forget there's laws that protect you from everything. We don't live in Nazi Germany. We don't live in North Korea. We don't live in a communist country. And people need to be scared at a rogue agent running this big of a scam and people laughing at his victim. He's just a hired cop. Federal Bureau of Investigators. My brother-in-law was CIA, and he died for our country. And people need to be ashamed of themselves. Hear them scream outside. It's all night long. When I first moved out, it was so quiet. You could hear Becky across the street on her bench talking. It's that quiet. Now the constant harassment from Michelle and her drug friends, getting high and driving by screaming stuff, they're insane. And I don't think it's funny them using me for a pawn in their drug scam. And people saying the mafia's mad because they ran a scam in their area. And this big drug scam that they ran, I have nothing to do with them. Nor do I want to be the pawn in his scam anymore. I asked him to protect me. And he allowed me almost get killed. To pay off his drug debts. He's not funny.